Blessings and happiness to all. This is Medicine Man. Obviously, once again, today, man, I want to talk about a topic I haven't really spoken about in a while. Um, we here on my channel, we originally started talking about root work, but I've like stretched out um, the various topics that I'll be discussing, and just trying to bring a fuller understanding of the areas of life that we can actually use the energies of our environment, of the elements, of the minerals, in what we call root work. Root work is a significantly medicine. It's medicine. It's about creating medicine, man. And but being energetic beings on this planet, I think it's important for us to understand, as energetic beings on this planet, that we do have the ability to tap our energy field into the energy field of other things, um, and use our consciousness to direct the energy in specific areas of our life. I think one of the main misconceptions that people have is that you can use your energy to affect other people's lives. I think personally, the protectional barrier around people, if they are in tune with themselves, they basically become, I would say, they're proofed from being in situations or being affected by the energies of others. The only way energies of others can really affect you is if you allow it. So I think moving forward, in this segment, I'm going to be speaking specifically about magnetism, the alchemy of magnetism. And this is going to be very interesting. When I was doing the research, I'd say, wow, man, but I've been researching magnetism for a very long time. And to understand the levels of magnetism, where it comes from, what elements, what chemicals, how to use it in your root work, or how to use it in your, in your magic. I tell people all the time, you are magic. You are magic. Magic is not a practice. You are it. Everything that comes into this existence is based on you being magical, going through a magical process, going through a scientific process, going through a process of the combination of elements and minerals, all to get you where you're at now today. So I got 5 stones that we're going to talk about today. These 5 stones are significantly important towards understanding magnetism, because out of all of the stones, all of the crystals, all of the stones, and I know many people deal with these things. They deal with stones, they deal with crystals, so on and so forth. But out of all of these stones, all of these crystals, which ones are magnetic? Because we understanding magnetic field now. You see what I'm saying? We understand magnetic field and magnetic fields. And so we understand that magnetism is what draws things to you. The reverse side of a magnet repels things away from you. So looking at how we're using it in maybe our root work, our magic, our meditation practices, even in our exercises. When you exercise, when you have magnets scrapped onto your body, that's funny. When you exercise, you can have magnets scrapped to your body to help enhance, I would say, the operation of your organs and how they transmit energy, how they take in energy. So we're diving into it today. Today we're diving into the whole idea of magnets in our life, magnetic fields in our life. So yes, Miss Naya, I am into science. Science is to know. And so a lot of times when we look at spirituality, we look at spirituality from ancient concepts. But in reality, our ancestors, they did research through observation and experimentation to come to a conclusion about what exactly where what they were trying to do, as far as the spirit realm, or creating chemicals. Because one thing interesting, man, really about the ancient, our ancestors, is that they used all kind of chemicals. They have paint in the hieroglyphics and the pyramids right now. Paint that look fresh, look like somebody painted it yesterday. But in reality, that paint was painted on that wall 10,000 years ago. So scientists and archaeologists wonder, like, wow, where did these ancient people learn the science of how to be able to paint on the wall and that paint look fresh as day? So we're going to delve into some of that at another time. But right now, we're looking at, there's 5 magnetic stones, 5 of them. And these 5 magnetic stones are very important as far as working with the earth elements, and working with the magnetic fields around us. All right. The first of these magnetic stones is the strongest one. It is the strongest one. The first of these magnetic stones is the strongest one. Anybody can guess that for me. Give me an idea. Somebody type in chat. Give me an idea of what they think the strongest magnetic stone is. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't give you enough time to check Chat GPT and ask that question, but the strongest magnetic stone is the magnetite. Magnetite. So a lot of times, like in root work, in alchemy, and in magic, people use magnetite. They use magnetite. Like it could be used in mojo bags. It could be used in, I guess, for those people that make spiritual cauldrons and pots. Magnetites can be placed in there to increase the magnetic field. Magnetites are used in magical circles to increase the magnetic field of a magical circle, or it's used in feng shui. Feng shui. I can't pronounce. I could never pronounce that word, y'all. Like, for real, I could never pronounce the word feng shui. So, in feng shui, it's about creating an aura around your house, an energy field around your house that's conducive to positivity, to attracting positive light energy or positive, inspirational, abundant energy into your house. You see? So now in feng shui, you can put magnetites in the corners, magnetite under your, I'm gonna tell you about under the bed. That's a good one. I'm gonna tell you guys about that. It could be under your stove, under your bed, under your couches, under your chairs. Like, for example, you can put magnetites under the chair to increase the magnetic field under your chair. You see, that can help. So, but magnetite is good for that. Now, lodestones. I see Stones TV. He posted lodestone, man. What's up, man? I haven't seen you in a minute because I haven't been here in a minute. But yeah, lodestones are another type of stone that's magnetic. Lodestones are naturally magnetized, just like magnetites, and it has been used historically for navigational purposes. You see, historically for, things like that. Hematite is another one. Well, let me get back to the lodestone. Lodestones are used in compasses. You see, another stone that is pretty good that we could use in root work or in our magical practices or whatnot is hematite. Hematite is another one. Hematite is like an iron oxide mineral. That's it has a weak magnetic field compared to the magnetite, but it has a form of magnetism. And so that's another one that can be used like in making mojo bags, if you're making different type of spiritual objects. And you're trying to increase the magnetic field in your alchemy. You want to increase it, make it bigger, you add those stones. Another one is a pyrrhotite. Pyrrhotite is another one. That particular stone is like an iron sulfide mineral, I think it is. Let me check. Yeah. And it's based on the iron content. So it has a lot of iron inside of it. And then is the limonite. The limonite is a titanium iron oxide mineral that is magnetic and is found in metamorphic rocks. You see what I'm saying? It's found in metamorphic rocks. So those are the 5 magnetic stones: the magnetite, the lodestone, the hematite, the pyrite, and the limonite. Those are the magnetic stones. So when we do our root work or whatever we're doing, our magic, our alchemy, I don't really like to use the word root work no more. Root work for me nowadays is more specific to making medicine, and our alchemy and our alchemical processes. We can use these 5. Now, there are also 5 chemicals. Let's pull that up on my chart here. I made a chart of it so I can kind of stay on point about talking about these things. Let's get to it. This is the interesting one. These are magnetic elements. So we have 5 magnetic stones that's discovered so far on this planet. And then there are 5 magnetic elements that typically can be magnetized or they are attracted to magnetic fields. The best part about it, all of these elements can be used in a powdered form. So now, let's say we're making some prosperity powder, or you're making something in reference to nothing negative, y'all. We ain't going there, but prosperity powder, keep it there. Or some type of attraction thing. You want to attract a new job. You want to attract new circumstances. So you can use iron powder. It's heavily magnetic. You can use nickel powder, heavily magnetic. Cobalt, familiar with that, but cobalt, C-O-B-A-L-T. Cobalt is another magnetic element, and it's used in magnets and other alloys, and it's used in electronics as well. The thing about nickel is used in making coins, and nickel is also present in batteries. Now, before I go back to cobalt, the thing about nickel, it's used in batteries. So it makes you wonder like, hey, I wonder if I can use a battery in my alchemy. Well, yes, you can. One of the ways of using batteries in your alchemy, let's say you're making a prosperity jar or something of that reference, you can take a copper wire, which is a conductor of magnetic fields and electricity, and you can wrap it around a battery. You can put a petition onto the battery. You take your petition, write it out, put it on a battery, which is your intentions. A petition is just your intentions written down. The things you're trying to manifest in your life, you write it down. So what you're doing is you're bringing when you write something down as a petition, what you're doing is you're bringing a thought from the spirit realm. You're bringing a thought from the spiritual realm, from, from up there. You're bringing that and you're bringing it into the 3D. Now, there's only two ways you can bring a thought from the spirit realm into the 3D reality. Two ways. One is speaking it out. Two is writing it down. And this is how you bring the energy of your inner intentions into the physical realm. So when you write it down and you speak it out as you're writing it down, what you're doing is you're taking that intention that's in you and you're putting it out into the 3D world so it can start the process of manifesting for you, as long as you don't sabotage it. You see? And so what happens is you take the battery, get your AA battery or whatever kind of battery you want to use. You write your intentions on the paper, you fold it up, whatever specific way you choose, you put it on there, you wrap it with the copper wire, and then you put it into your jar. So if you're making like a money jar or a bottle that you want to have positive energy generating from it, you do that because the nickel is in there. It's a magnetic material, as well as you can use other magnetic materials and put it into the bottle as well to help increase the level of root work you're trying to do to help increase the magnetic field you're trying to bring forth. And then we have the cobalt. Of course, cobalt is used in magnets as well as electronics. And so I often tell people too that when you're doing meditations, you want to keep your electronics kind of away from you. Because I know people be meditating and their phone sitting right there next to them, and the phone has a magnetic field and it can alter what you're trying to achieve metaphorically and metaphysically. It can alter that. So you want to keep any kind of electronic devices away from you because they have their own magnetic fields. And sometimes most times when we do meditations or whatever, you got your phone in your pocket or sitting right next to you, it's altering the magnetic field because there are processes operating in your phone, which it's receiving Wi-Fi or 5G signals, and if you're meditating and raising your vibration in a state of meditation, what's really happening is that you become an open channel. You come like a cell phone tower. So what happens is as your phone sits next to you, those signals bouncing off of you because you're raising your vibration. And once you raise your vibration up a little higher, those signals start bouncing off of you. And it can disturb the process of your meditation practice. So as a rule, you want to pretty much keep your electronic devices when you meditate kind of away from you. If you have a TV, not only turning it off helps, unplugging it helps. Or you have a space or an area where there is no electronic devices at all. You definitely turn them off, unplug them, or none at all. You're good in your meditation space. So when creating I like that. Stone TV talk about binaural beats. They're good for brainwave entrainment. Definitely, they're good for that because the sound itself is a frequency. Well, really, you got one frequency going here, one frequency going there. And what happens is it creates inside your brain so that you can raise your consciousness to higher level. But when you got headphones on, the headphones have electronics in it and all this other stuff. When you're doing it like that, I would say it's okay. Just my personal opinion. I don't, we all have opinions, but I would say it's okay. Yeah, I definitely would say it's okay when using binaural beats and having headphones on when you're meditating. But other than that, even music, but when you have headphones on and you're listening to music, I would definitely say don't listen to anything with lyrics in it. Don't listen to anything with lyrics in it, because when you're listening to the music is like entraining your brain and it's putting that frequency to send you to another state of consciousness. But the lyrics are a programming aspect of what's going on. So the beat, actually, the frequency of the beat because I'm a producer too. I make beats, and I deal with frequencies a lot from looking at the channels and looking at everything on the mixer, looking at the channels. I want to know where my drums are in frequency. I want to know where my harmonics is in frequency. So when I try to make, because the drums are by nature, low frequency. That's your lows. And you have your lows, your mids, and your highs. So I operate my music from the mids and highs. So a lot of my music that I've been making lately is all mids and highs. Only thing that's in the low frequency is the drum. The drum is to give it a rhythm. But then once the rhythm comes in, I put out all the lows and the highs, and I raise it above the drums because it makes the frequency stronger, which makes the actual song a high frequency song. You see what I'm saying? So when you hear songs that the hardest thing hitting in the song is the drum, then that's a low frequency song. It's a low frequency song. So use that knowledge, pay attention to it when you listen to a lot of artists out there now. Of all you hearing is the drum, boom, 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 boom. It's how the rhythm getting you frequency. The low frequencies are higher than the high frequency. So, but when you kicking the guitar and you hear that good music and you hear the piano and everything else, the harps and all that, the violin, the strings, all of those are high. So you always want to keep that higher. But moving forward, cobalt is a ferromagnetic material as well that can be used, and it also can be found in electronics, and it can be in a powdered form. Now, when I'm done telling you, or just using it in a way to help your home, another one is gadolinium. Gadolinium is a rare earth material that is used in like medical and home appliances. You'll find it like in your refrigerator. You'll find it in a microwave. A lot of electronic blender has it, toaster has it. This magnetic material is not really magnetic per se on its own, but it's very responsive to magnetic fields. You see what I'm saying? Like a paperclip. A paperclip is not magnetic, but you put a paperclip by a magnet, it acts up. It snaps onto it. And so what I'm saying here is that this is the type of material that gadolinium is. Anytime it's in the presence of a magnetic field, it reacts. It's either attracting to it or repelling from it. And can also be found in powdered form. Then is dysprosium. Dysprosium is another rare earth material, highly magnetic, and is used in industrial applications. Once again, in an industrial world, and it's also used. Excuse me, I'm thirsty. And it's also used in electronics as well. Now, all of these elements. So we have 5 elements, right? Iron, nickel, cobalt, gadolinium, dysprosium, and hematite, limonite, pyrite, my favorite, the lone stone, and magnetite. So between the minerals and the elements, there is 10 magnetics. 10 magnetics. Think about it. Now let's deal with numerology a little bit. There is 10 magnetics, 10 stones, 10 minerals. That's the number of what? Completion, right? Very much is. So when we looking at working with these, it's a number of completion. So if we should gather all 10, I have like powdered form of most of them. The only one I don't have the powdered form of is the limonite. I don't have the powdered form of that, but I got a piece of it. But when you do your spiritual work, when you're doing your meditations, you can have it in your pocket, Some people can put it around. Some people put these things in combination in chains, but you have to be careful when you put it on a chain. I think a lot of time we don't really understand the difference of. That's why I don't wear things around my neck. I don't wear things around my neck. I used to. I stopped because during meditations, I start to realize that the heart, your heart, is a vibrational instrument. Your heart vibrates. So it's creating a vibration. In fact, the heart is the only organ that creates a physical vibration in your body, other than the lungs. The lungs on a lower level. The lungs create a vibration as it expands and contracts. That's a very weak vibration on a physical level. But the heart, it gives a full force vibration. Boom, 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 boom. The reason for that is it's pumping. It's at work. And so when we put stones that we really don't know about, and see, that's why I refer to science instead of like mythology when we looking at things like this. And it's really because you need to know what happens with the vibrational field of your heart when you put a particular stone and a necklace around your neck. What happens? Does it increase the vibrational rate of your heart? Or does it tamper with the vibration of your heart in a negative aspect? You see? We have to know these things when we doing that, because there are certain stones that you can put around your neck and you say, oh yeah, it's spiritual, and this book said that, the book told me that this stone wards off evil, and the whole time this stone has a magnetic field on it that alters your heart magnetic field. And then you keep wearing the stone for long periods of time. You're wondering, why you got high blood pressure, or why your heart giving you complications later on in life, and you've been wearing this particular stone. So we have to be very careful, because the vibration of the heart is to reach outside to replenish our aura. The aura of the human body, honestly, is about, 5 feet away from the body. It's about 5 feet away from the body. So when you can stretch your arm out. As far as you stretch your arm out, it tells the energy field of your aura. You see? And what happens is, in that energy field, your heart beats. Boop, 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 boop. And when it beats, it really goes in 4 directions. Because your heart does this. Boop, 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 boop. It expands in all directions. So there is a vibration going front. There is a vibration going behind you. There's a vibration going to the right and the left of you, which creates this vibrational aura around your body. Any type of metals, okay? Any type of stones that you have within this circumference is going to affect the magnetic field of it. And so you want to have the kind of stones, and I haven't done research, and I ain't gonna sit there and tell you no lie. I haven't done research on all the stones. I be seeing people wear labradites. The quartz crystals are neutral stone. So the quartz is all good. Any kind of neutral stone like quartz, the fake diamonds, they're all good because they're crystals, but when you start wearing stone, like especially dark colored stones, my suggestion with that, man, honestly, from experimentation, my suggestion with dark colored stones is that it's going to affect your aura. It's going to darken your aura. I know the books tell you, yeah, it's for protection, it's for this. I understand all of that. But when you look at the color spectrum, a black stone. Now we know when our aura is dark, we know when our aura is black, that's not good. So when you enter that stone right here around your neck, that black stone, what does it do? Black does what? Absorbs, right? It absorbs energy, right? So that stone, that black stone you're wearing, and this is just my principle, mine. That black stone you're wearing, it's absorbing your aura field, it's absorbing the energy of your aura field, and it's also absorbing the energy of your environment. So when you're wearing black stones, you're doing both. It's like a vampire. It becomes like an energy vampire. It's sucking in your aura energy, and it's pulling the energy out of the environment around you. That's why I always recommend never wear black stones. Not good. All light color stones are pretty good. The pink, the yellow, the blue, the turquoise, all of those stones are great because they help, because your aura is a compilation of various energies throughout the color spectrum. And because it's a compilation of all these energies, those energies are welcomed. The black, because it's just pulling things from everywhere. So I look at it like the reckless energy, and black is good, just like I got a black scarf on my head. But it's used to pull energy, pull and download information. So wearing black scarves around your head during meditation, it really helps to receive downloads because it's pulling in. So black hats, black scarves, they're all good because it's pulling in to your brain so you can, internalize universal conscious energies. So now let's look at, I'm going to look at the minerals. Let's go there. All right, the minerals. So now they're 10. The number 10 is the number of completion, right? So now it's like, how do we use these things in our meditational practices and inside of our alchemical practices? Like, how do we use it? Like I said before, all of these 10 elements and minerals together can be found in powdered forms. So when you talk about doing specific things towards manifesting something good or something positive, you want to definitely put it in your mojo bags. If you make mojo bags, sometimes, you ever seen a scarf? Like, people have scarves. I think I got one right here. You can have a scarf, and you can do certain things like, you can write on a scarf, put different things in it. If you're working with herbs or whatever you're working with that correspond to the objective you're trying to achieve, you put it in the scarf, you fold it, and you get a specific color ribbon, and you tie it up, and you can hang it on your door, over the window. Some people put it in their car, right on the mirror, have it hanging right there for prosperity purposes. You can do that under the sole of your feet, especially like if you're going into a court case or there's some type of court work that needs to be done. You can definitely put these magnetic powders in conjunction with other things. Some people got high John root. You might have some high John root. And you got them traffic tickets you ain't paid for yet either. You know what I mean? You got 10 traffic tickets. Like Stone probably got like 10 traffic tickets. You want to get a little bit of high John, and you get the high John, and you go ahead and you put the magnetism on it. You put the magnetism on it. Prayer cloths. Like I said, people put it under the sole of their shoe when they go in job interviews, with a petition, of course, to get the job. And then you sprinkle it on top and put it in the take the lining out of the bottom of your shoe, put it in there, boom, with the petition on the right foot, and boom, you step into the interview office with your right foot first, and you mentally kind of say and pronounce, the petition that you're using. And a lot of times people, a lot of old root workers and whatnot, they went into the church, of course they did. And and a lot of old root workers went into the church. So the Bible became like the holy book of hoodoo in many aspects. And so the prayers of David, the prayers of Solomon, a lot of the prayers out of the Bible is used because, like I said in a previous video, I made a video once before, and I was talking about like the origins and the history of hoodoo, not to get directly back into it. But I did mention when we look at the origin of root work, or what we call hoodoo, it was basically the only system that doesn't have anything. And I was talking like spirits and all of that there. I know people practice what they practice. I have no gripes about that. They can mix and mingle all kinds of things together. Hey, I have no problem with that. But in hoodoo that I know of, I can't talk about what other people have, but the hoodoo that I know of, there is no spirits there. It's just you and the Most High. And the reason why it's like that, I think mainly because hoodoo comes from Aboriginal. It comes from Aboriginal sciences. Because the African people that came over here, they didn't know like what a dandelion was. Those things don't grow in Africa. So they had to be taught from the Aboriginal blacks that were already here. Like, this is for this. This makes this. You can make medicine with the white oak leaf. A lot of people don't know the white oak leaf got something called, I think it's, I can't pronounce the word, but the white oak tree has a chemical inside of it, the leaf and the bark, that's anti-cancerous. So the Aboriginal people used to take the leaves from the white oak tree and boil them and make a tea. And it cures cancer. It is a cure for cancer, like it fights cancer or whatever. And so what the pharmaceuticals do, they go and extract, how they go and extract stuff. They go and extract the chemical out of it and make medicine, pills, and sell it to you. You say that works? Crazy, isn't it? So they take the stuff out of nature, process it, and then make it a pill, and then sell it to you. So this is what the pharmaceuticals do. This is why they don't want you to understand herbology. This is why they don't want you to understand root work from a medicinal perspective. And I know a lot of people that do practice root work really don't have an understanding on the medicine. Like, man, the same things you're using to do all of this other stuff, or maybe prosperity, get your lover back or whatever, a lot of that stuff, man, is really medicine. It's really all of it is actually medicine. So when you're making your alchemy, when you're designing your alchemy materials here, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with these magnetic materials? How am I going to shape and form? And it's a step in a process. That's why hoodoo is like so loose, because it's based on each and every individual practitioner's perspective on how you see it. The thing that hurts, that takes it away, is when you bring spirits in. You don't bring spirits in hoodoo, to my perspective. You don't. You just don't. I know everybody be like, oh no, this spirit told me this and that. Hey, go for it. Go for it. But in hoodoo, there is no spirits. It's just you and God. The reason it's like that is because just like people are impersonators, right? Just like a person can say, they can deceive you. See, the Most High won't deceive you. But random spirits from different dimensions and different realms can come in and even impersonate angels. Yeah, I'm Archangel Michael. I'm Archangel Raphael. I'm Archangel Jibril. And the whole time it could be a nefarious energy. You see? And so for that reason, well, that's a little different there, but I use it for just to not use nothing else. But when we make our direct connection with the Most High, it's like you cut the middleman out, because we know how the middleman deals go. You know what I mean? You go to a record label to get a record deal. They want you to sign that contract, but this one here wants you to sign that contract. Next thing you know, you done signed a 360 deal, and you paying some people you don't even know. You paying entities and things that you're not connected with. And so, or you're not meant to be connected with. So we cut out the middleman in Hoodoo. Hoodoo cuts it out. You deal directly with the Most High and anything under the Most High's dominions. You see? So that's what we're doing there. And so when you make that connection, when you make that direct connection, things work better. Things work better because you don't got to pay no price. You know how the middleman is. You know how the middleman wants his cut. And so when the middleman get their cut, let's say the spirit wants a cut. What is that cut? What is that cut that spirit want? It wants life force energy. So as a consequence, what people do is they sacrifice animals to spirits. You see? Follow me. They sacrifice animals to spirits as an energy exchange of life force energy. But what they don't realize is that when you're petitioning a spirit to do something for you, it doesn't want an animal, honestly, in the energy, from energy perspective, an animal's life force energy is not comparable to a human's energy. You see? Now we can get into talking about human sacrifices and all that, but I'm not for the segment here. I'm just saying human energy, because there is a human petitioning a spirit, so the payment must be a human. You see? I repeat, if a human is petitioning a spirit, then the payment must come in a human's form, in the same form of the one who's asking for something to be done. You see? So when you go and try to, oh yeah, here go the life force of a chicken. And when you go, oh yeah, here go the life force of a goat. When you go, oh yeah, here go the life force of a mule, if you want to, they'll accept it. But the trick is that's not what they want. So a lot of these spirits, they accept these blood sacrifices of the animals, but you asking for some human stuff. You asking for human stuff to go down, but you're giving them the life force of an animal. It'll take that life force and then attach itself to you and then begin to drain you of your life force energy or someone around you. So that's why I personally don't recommend that. I don't recommend that at all. The best thing to do is make that direct connection with the Most High. God don't require. The Most High creative life force energy does not require sacrifices, blood, and all of that other stuff. Only low dimensional spirits require that. Archangels don't, because archangels and everything of the archangelic order is of the highest order. They don't require that. Things of the lowest order requires blood sacrifices. Anything of the lowest order. So if somebody tell you, well, you got to sacrifice a goat or, whatever to a spirit, and that means that spirit is of the low vibrational order, because high vibrations don't need 3D life force. You see, it doesn't need 3D life force. Only low vibrational spirits do that. So from that perspective, that's my perspective. And when you give a sacrifice, the trick is made. And the scam is that spirit is going to drain you of your life force energy. You see, because